Hey everybody, luckylakitu here and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons, the game everyone has been playing recently and having a good time. Now guys, I personally have never played or been interested in Animal Crossing in the past because it looked like a game for little kids because of the art style and the gameplay. But I've played like 2 seconds of New Leaf, but that doesn't really count, so you can basically say that this is my first Animal Crossing game. I was really hyped for Animal Crossing New Horizons because this time around, I heard a lot of good things about this game and the graphics looked amazing in this game, so I wanted to try it out for myself. Just to let you guys know, I literally know like nothing about Animal Crossing. I know a few characters, but besides that, I know nothing about the game or how it works. So please don't bully me in the comments. I know I'm a noob at this game, so I decided to bring you guys a whole video of my first time playing and my first week experience playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video, and let's get to start. Now I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, but it all starts off in an airport. We meet these tanuki creatures named Tommy and Timmy, or you can call them their nicknames, which are Thing 1 and Thing 2. After meeting Tommy and Timmy, we're able to customize their character and then we're able to choose on what island we want to live on. Then we get to see the most wholesome intro known to the human race. After that wholesome intro, we have arrived to our very epic Total Drama Island, and we meet two of our friendly villagers. One of the villagers is apparently the CEO of Crocs, and the other one is on the cover of some gummy bear candy. A few seconds later, we meet the fucking Bill Gates of Animal Crossing, who goes by the name of Tom Nook. Tom then tells us a very friendly welcome to the island, then tells us to go find a location to place our tent. And after a few minutes of roaming around the island, I found a very interesting spot near the river. Once I placed down my tent, Tom suggested me to help out Sly and Tammy to help them find a location for their tents, so that's exactly what I did. Once the villagers and I had found a location to put our tents, Bill Gates decided it was time to name our amazing island. I came up with a couple of great names such as Alcatraz or goddamn Camp Wawanakwa, but then a great name came across my mind: Lucky Land. No, this was not inspired by my Discord server name. In fact, this was no scam, inspired by JoJo Siwa Adventures. And once I said this magnificent name of an island, everyone agreed that this was the best name of mankind. A few moments later, I fell asleep and saw a dog named KK in my dreams. When I woke up, Tom gave me my very own Nook Phone, aka Apple's main competition. It offered a variety of different apps, such as a camera, my passport, a map of the island, some app for clothes and other stuff, rescue services, and an app where I can claim my Nook Miles. Oh, what is Nook Miles, you ask? Nook Miles is basically a type of currency in Animal Crossing, just like bells. After all of this, I decided to go fishing, and the first ever fish I caught was called Dab. Then I went back to roaming around the island and I caught a few bugs, and then I went back to fishing. Then I went to talk to Tom Nook, and he gave me the crafting recipe to craft a flimsy axe. After a few minutes, it started to get late and it started to get dark, and Sly gave me a free Chipotle hat. Also, just to let you guys know, Tom Nook was accepting donations such as bugs and fish for a future museum, which is pretty cool. So everything I caught so far has been donated to Tom Nook. Eventually, I donated so much to him that apparently the mastermind behind all my donations had decided to come and live on my island. His name was Blathers. So then Tom asked me if I can find a location to put his tent somewhere, and by tomorrow he will move in. Once I found a location, that was basically all of day 1. Nothing much really, just more of an introduction day. Also guys, before we move on to day 2, I forgot to mention that I paid off my debt of 5,000 Nook miles to Tom Nook, which basically means by day 2, I will start living inside a house instead of a tent. Yeah, you actually have to pay your debt in this game to upgrade your home. Day 2 starts off with Tom Nook announcing that he'll be doing daily announcements starting from today. And a few of the announcements that he said for today was that the Lucky Land airport was open, meaning that we can now travel to other people's islands online. He also announced that Blathers now lives on the island with us to study more about the animal life here. After these very important announcements, the first thing I did was go visit our brand new friend Yeah, I've actually been lied to. This man is the founder of Hooters. Anyways, Blathers introduced me to himself and gave me a vaulting pool which allows me to cross rivers and gives me a bit more access around the island. He also gave me a recipe on how to make a shovel. He also told me that he needed around 15 donations to start working on a museum, so I gave him a bit of my fossils. I also got a letter from my in-game mom and she gave me oranges as a gift, so I decided to plant them so I can have more than one type of fruit on my island. Then I made my way to the airport planning to visit one of your guys' islands since you guys have been giving me tips about this game and offering to help me. So I made it to one of my epic Discord members' islands and we traded fruits. I gave him peaches and in return he gave me pears. After that, he gave me a little tour around the island and then a few minutes later I made my way back home. Once I arrived back home, I talked to Timmy and he said it would be a good idea to start working on a shop, so he wanted my help. And so I decided to help him out, thinking it wouldn't take a lot of effort, and I regret helping him ever since. All he wanted was 30 pieces of each type of wood in the game, those being hardwood, softwood, and normal wood. And he also wanted 30 iron nuggets. You get all 3 types of wood by using your axe to hit a tree, and you get the iron nuggets by hitting a rock with your shovel. But before I did that, I decided to visit one more island before I go grind mode to help out Timmy, and little did I know, once I arrived to this island, this man was wearing unofficial luckylakitu merch, so I actually plan to file a lawsuit against him. I also got a mini island tour on this epic island. He also gave me a ladder which gives me more access to my island. I now have the chance to explore all over my amazing island. He also gave me an axe. Once I arrived back home, I learned that there's a specific app that you can buy with Nook Miles that allows you to make your own clothes. So I made a brand new hoodie. I also made a hat off camera. A few minutes later, I found a random bird near the beach. His name was Gulliver. I first had to wake him up since he was asleep. Basically, he got lost on a journey in the ocean and now he needs my help to find 5 communicator parts for his phone, since without his phone, he can't contact for help. I forgot to record me finding the 5 communicator parts, but take my word for it, I did find them. It wasn't that hard. Once I found all 5, I gave them to him and he said he was going to send me a gift tomorrow, so I'm glad I was able to help. Eventually, I bought a Nook Miles ticket so I can go explore a deserted island. Once I arrived to the island, I found a goat named Chavery. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But besides that, we had a little conversation and I decided to invite her to my island. After that, I explored this island a bit more. It had a lot of useful resources. It also had coconuts, which I took some so I can have some on my island. I also did a lot of grinding off camera, and eventually, I hit my goal of 30 hardwood, 30 softwood, and 30 normal wood. So once I arrived to my island, I donated all my wood to Timmy, and all I needed was to donate 30 iron nuggets. But that was obviously going to take a while, so instead I donated all my fossils, fish, and bugs to Blathers until he had enough donations to start building the museum, which he had enough so the construction on the museum starts tomorrow. I also got invited one more time to visit another island, in which the moment I arrived, he had all the other fruits I was missing, so that was epic. I also had a mini tour around this island as well. After that, I went back home and the first thing I did was plant all my fruits so then they can grow into trees. By this point, I had reached my goal of 30 iron nuggets, so I donated them to Timmy. Then Timmy gave me the choice where I wanted to put the shop, so after a couple of minutes of running around the island, I found a good place where the shop can be located. Also, I forgot to mention that I invited 2 other animals to my island, which was some fox and some koala, but I lost the footage for the koala. But overall, that sums up day 2. Day 3 starts off with Tom telling us that the construction of the museum has begun, and the shop now known as Nook's Cranny has finished construction and is now open 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. The staff of the shop are Timmy and Tommy. Everything else he said was irrelevant. So the first thing I had in mind was to go check the mail to see if Gulliver has sent me his gift, which he did. I also bought a few decorations for my house and I bought new shoes. After I checked my mail, I went to check out Nook's Cranny, and the moment I went inside the shop, I saw Sonic the Hedgehog in the shop. But it turns out that it wasn't actually Sonic, but instead some animal named Mabel. In a nutshell, their conversation was basically Mabel saying that she will be on the island once in a while, selling a few stuff of her own. Then I wanted to check out what was in store, and I bought a few stuff, which was a water cooler and a cushion. So after my purchase, I went back home and placed down my brand new water cooler and cushion. After all of that, I went to talk to Tom Nook, in which he said that the 3 animals that I invited to my island yesterday are now planning to move in soon. But before they do, Tom needs my help to collect the materials for their homes. But before we even do that, Tom says I should collect the required materials to start building a bridge. So he gave me the recipe to build a bridge. So I decided to roam around the island to get the required materials for the bridge, but I came across Gulliver again, and apparently he said he got lost again and he was asking for my help, but this time I didn't help him. Eventually I had the required amount of materials to make a bridge, so I built the bridge. Then I had to find a location where I wanted the bridge to be. I put it near Nook's Cranny so I don't have to keep using my vaulting pole to get there. After this, Tom Nook thought it was about time to start working on the homes of the animals I invited yesterday to my island. So he gave me the 3 housing kits, and I had to find the locations where I wanted the homes to be located. Eventually, I found locations for all 3 houses, and all I had to do now was basically make the whole house for them. Yep, you heard me. I basically had to craft the exterior and interior of their house, which really sucks because I knew it was going to take a while to finish all of that, but no complaints, a man's got to do what he's got to do. So I went out to start getting the materials I needed to craft the interior and exterior stuff for these houses, and after like a million years, I got a bit of progress done. I even got a bit of the exterior items for each house, and for one of the houses, I've gotten all the interior items, which was cool. But I took a bit of a break, so I made my way over to talk to Tom Nook, and we celebrated the finished product of the shop, so that was epic. But a tragedy happened on my island, in which even God himself couldn't help me in this situation. I legit had no iron nuggets left on my island. I already collected every iron nugget from all my rocks around the island. I even asked my Discord server if anybody had iron nuggets to spare, in which everybody said no. I was struggling, and I really thought this would be the end. But a certain person, which God himself probably sent from the heavens, and their name was Lily. Lily had spare iron nuggets which she was offering to me, and of course I said yes. I went over to her island and she gave me iron nuggets. I also took a few apples while I was there, then I left. So the moment I went back home, I made the last bit of furniture that I needed for the houses, and once I was done, Tom Nook said he'll do the rest of the work and he'll start the construction of the houses. And as a prize, Tom Nook gave me 50 fences, which I'll never be using for now. But that wraps up day 3. Today starts off with Tom Nook announcing that our friendly fox has moved into the island. So she'll start unpacking her stuff today and hopefully going to make new friends on this island. But most importantly is that today was the grand opening of the museum. Yep, the construction of the museum has finally finished, and so Tom Nook said that he'll be holding a ceremony about the opening of the museum, so we'll definitely be doing that later. But after those epic announcements, the first thing I did was go visit the brand new museum, and man, this actually looks very epic. The museum has 3 sections, which are fish, bugs, and fossils. So I explored all 3 sections and I had a goal in mind. I want to try to fill up my entire museum. I really like that I get to look back here and see all my catches and finds out on the island, and it takes so much grind and time. Once I left the museum, I noticed that Sly and Tammy both have houses now, and the fox is currently organizing their house. Then I made my way to Nook's Cranny and I bought a few stuff for my house. After that, I was walking around my island and I found a random dog on my island, and apparently their name was Steve Harvey. And after a few minutes talking to Harvey, he thought it'd be a great idea for me to visit his island. So every time I'm at the airport now, I now have the option to visit his island. Once I finished talking to Harvey, I noticed I was only around a few hundred bells away from paying my debt. So I sold a few things in Nook's Cranny, then I went to talk to Tom Nook and I paid my debt of 98,000 bells. After paying my debt, Tom Nook gave me a little mission of making a wooden wardrobe and customizing its color. So I went ahead and collected a bit of wood, and then I made a wardrobe. After that, I went in to celebrate the opening of the museum, and then I celebrated the final construction of the bridge. Then I decided it was about time to visit Harvey's Island, so I went there to give it a visit, and it's basically a whole place dedicated to photo shoots. So after that, I bought a Nook Miles ticket to go to a random island, and I did a bit of fishing, and I collected a few resources. After that, I took a bit of a break that I later got on back, and I found a wisp. So apparently this dude is scared of ghosts when he is a ghost. That's kind of weird. He got freaked out and then he became very small. So then he needed my help to find 5 spirit pieces. They are found all over the island and they're just floating somewhere. So once I found all 5 pieces, I gave them back to him and he decided to give me a prize. I had an option if I wanted something new or something expensive. And I decided to choose something expensive just so I can sell it at Nook's Cranny. And that's about it for day 4. Day 5 begins with Tom telling us that Chevy the goat is now living with us on the island and she'll be unpacking her stuff today. After that, I noticed that Mabel is here selling a few stuff today, and then I decided to buy a few stuff from her. After that, I went to go visit Chevy and see how she was doing. Then I went to talk to Tom Nook and see if he has anything for me to do, and he said that I literally have nothing to do. He said I've done so much that he thinks I can do some stuff on my own. So I worked on my house for a bit, and then the rest of the day all I did was fishing. Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't know what to do since I didn't really have a goal in mind around this time besides catching rare fish and bugs, but I didn't get any luck at this time. And sadly, that sums up all of day 5. And day 6 and 7 weren't any better. I'm putting these two together since I legit did nothing these days. On day 6, nothing really interesting happened, and in day 7, I wasn't online half of the time, and all I did was fish, but I didn't catch anything worth to talk about. But I learned something about Animal Crossing around this time. It's that you'll get bored once in a while. This game is all about patience and grind. If you don't feel like playing anymore, then just take a break and play the next day. There's a high chance that there will be something for you to do. But anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, then please leave a like and subscribe for more content in the future. This video took me so long to make, so any support that this video gets will mean a lot to me. Also guys, I started streaming on Twitch now, so if you guys want to see me play games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Luigi's Mansion 3 and more, then go ahead and give me a follow. The link is in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and Lucky2 out.